Do you want fries with that? After 11 seasons on Fox, we now get the Bob's Burgers movie.
So this is interesting because last week we talked about the new Downton Abbey movie and how you're a total Downton Abbey expert and you went into it with that knowledge. And I am not. Like, I've never seen a single episode of it. Here we're flip-flopped.
Yes.
I love Bob's Burgers. It's like Nick's favorite show. We watch it all the time. We sing the songs around the house.
That feels nice.
I know. Don't rub my sesame seeds off. I won't, don't worry.
They're a cute couple.
I give him a year.
And Alonso, you had never seen an episode of it. Is that right?
I think I might have seen like one or two early on and it didn't grab me. So I stopped watching it. And then like a month later it was everybody's favorite show. And I was like, fuck. So,
It's still there. It didn't go anywhere. It's available.
I know. But if I didn't want to catch up when I was 6 episodes behind, I'm not going to catch up at 11 seasons behind.
I don't think it's not serial.
I know, but anyway.
I think you know who they are. But this raises a good point.
Get into that.
This is one of the first things that I said to Nick as we were walking out of the screening. We had the pleasure of going to the premiere, which was very fun. And they gave up these really cute little Impossible Burger sliders. It was so sweet. And it was really fun. And but I walked out saying to Nick, I think you really need to know this show and love this show to really appreciate it.
I think I agree with that, but why don't you tell us what it's about?
All right. So once again, the Belchers have money problems. If you have never seen Bob's Burgers before, it's about a family and they have this burger diner in a seaside town and all kinds of bizarre characters in their lives. And it's a father and mother and their 3 kids. It's Bob and Linda and their 3 kids, Tina and Jean and Louise. Yes, the daughters are named Tina and Louise. Which cannot be a coincidence, right?
No, probably not.
And it's about how they once again are having trouble paying the rent on the restaurant. They owe money to their landlord, Mr. Fishoder, played by Kevin Kline. It's all the whole voice cast from the show is here. So it's Jon Benjamin, it's Kristen Schaal, Dan Mintz, John Roberts, and Eugene Mirman. So they're all back. Everyone you love is back, even in the smallest of roles. And which I think is cool because quite often when they do a film version of a TV show, they will recast with more famous people, and they did not do that here. So I appreciate that. It's the creators of the show who directed and wrote it anyway. They're behind on their rent. At the same time, this giant sinkhole opens up in front of the restaurant right as it's Memorial Day weekend, the beginning of summer. They're really hoping that, the start of summer will bring more tourists, which will bring more customers, which will mean more burgers being sold, and they'll be able to get out of debt. Of course, none of that is true. And so it's how they all scheme to get to the bottom of what's happening with this sinkhole and solve a murder mystery. At the same time, all of the Belcher children are going through their own existential crises, trying to assert themselves and their independence and not being pigeonholed into the characters that they've always been. And they burst into song because this is what happens in a Bob's Burgers episode. There's always at least one song. I kind of wish, if I have one criticism of this movie, is I wish they had done a full-blown musical. Because as this is, it feels kind of like 3 episodes back to back to back, each of which has a song, like as if it were like a very special 3-episode little mini series within Bob's Burgers. I mean, it's an episodic show. You can dip in whenever you want. It feels like the animation is more elaborate and more fluid and more detailed than what we see on TV. But I wish that it had felt bigger somehow. And yet it's totally true to what you love about this show. It's got the underlying sweetness as the foundation beneath the weirdness, beneath the idiosyncrasies of these characters. Whatever misadventures they get themselves into, it's always in the name of family and helping each other and helping the restaurant and neighbors helping each other to make this thing work. Teddy is always there, trying his damnedest to make things work. So I had a really good time, but I also know the show really well.
Yeah, I think it is a tricky situation when you are making a movie of your show that's still running, because you either have to, do you take it in a whole other direction? Like, oh, the Belchers, they go to a burger making contest in Paris, or do you like double down on this is the world we've established and this is the characters and the relationships, because we don't want the fans of the show to feel like, that we're not, bringing them along for this. So this is one of those movies where I'm like, this movie isn't for me, and that's okay, because there's plenty of people that it is for, namely fans of Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
But did they thread that needle that would bring somebody like me along for the ride?
Maybe not, huh?
Not entirely. No, I mean, I was entertained while I was watching it. I was amused by it. I thought the songs were cute. I thought the song with the Carnies was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I had no idea Kevin Kline has been a voice on this show all along.
Mr. Fishoder.
Mr. Fishoder. So he's really hilarious. I liked him a lot. I mean, they're all great. It's a great voice cast. I'm a fan of these folks from other things. Every year at the holidays we have to watch John Roberts do The Tree, and H. Jon Benjamin from Archer and Kristen Schaal from countless things. So yeah, I admire what it is, but you're right. It does feel like 3 episodes grafted together. The worst thing I can say about this movie is that it is for fans of the show only, but that's why it exists, and I think it's there to get fans of the show excited about, to continue being excited about the show, to get them out to the theater. If they happen to pick up new fans along the way, great, but that's clearly not their main mission here. So, as somebody who's not a viewer, I don't know that I'm going to be one now, but I was like, okay, I see the appeal here. I get why people like this, but it's not grabbing me because I know there's a million inside jokes and passing references to things that I just don't get, which is how you watched the Downton Abbey movie,
Yeah. And if you know these characters, you learn some depth about them that maybe there's not room to explore in just a 22-minute episode. So there is that payoff in that you learn more about Louise.
Louise's head gets an origin story.
Yeah. So there is that. And there are some surprises along the way, and there's some emotional depth along the way. But it is still weird and high energy and playful, and I was never bored. I was always into it. It kept me going. So I'm saying 8, but again, I'm a fan. So this is made for me and my family.
Yeah, I said 6.8. It is. There's some good stuff along the way. I have to say, there's like an emotional sort of all is lost moment toward the end. And as somebody who barely knew these characters, I felt it. So it's doing its job on that level. So yeah, I mean, even if you aren't a watcher of this show, go in with low expectations and just sort of pretend you're basically watching 3 episodes of the show that you paid $20 for, and you'll have a good time.